How old is the service tree?
Service tree is, see, Mother oversaw its planting.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably 77 or 78 now. I had written the book for the 75th anniversary, and it languished for a couple of years, so probably it's right around 78 years old. Since it was planted. Now it could have been a year-old seedling or 2-year-old seedling also. Every year when someone asks for seeds of the tree, I try to get them to them of the original tree, because it seeds pretty heavily yet. And the squirrels, of course, have a feast. They're really chipmunks, not squirrels. They're little chipmunks.
This is the tree over the Samadhi.
Yes.
And what is there a name to the tree in Oroville when you enter the large banyan tree?
Just called the banyan tree is actually the geographical center of Oroville. And there's a stone right there by the trunk. And so it's the geographical center. The Matra Mandir is the spiritual center of Oroville.
Narad, Mother did not give any significance to petunias? She
did. And that's why I'm taking you this way, because I saw some last night as we were leaving the hall.
Amazing! You asked the question and he's already has it.
So, what is the significance of the crepe myrtle?
Integral intimacy to the divine.
With the divine. And that's which color?
What?
The white.
And what is the pink one?
Vital.
Psychic. Pink is psychic.
Psychic, right. What is the red one? Physical, yes. And the purple or violet?
Vital.
Here we go. Now we're getting there. Very nice. Very nice. See the daylilies over there? The yellow ones?
Yeah.
You know, I've never seen them grown in India. They must be able to grow in the colder areas up north, but I haven't seen them.
You have daylilies in Jersey?
Oh yeah, they do well in Jersey.
Yeah.
Sure.
What is that? Is that the
They do well in much of the country.
Narad, this is the one, right?
Yeah, that's a daylily. This one's called Stella d'Oro. Stella of gold, the oro. And it's one of the newer hybrids over the past 15 years. And one of the beauties of it, of course, is that it blooms so much. You can see all the old flower spikes.
Yeah, it's profuse.
It's profuse.
And I've also noticed that it only puts out 1 or 2 flowers of its bunch. So you can never keep the entire bunch out because there's many buds.
What is the significance of this one?
No, Mother didn't give any, right?
No, she didn't give any. You see, the thing was, people had been giving her significant flowers to get significances for many years. Many years. When I came on the scene, I got the nursery really moving around sometime mid-1970.
Nursery in the ashram?
No, in the Oroville Matra Mandir Gardens nursery. Mid to late 1970. I only had 71 and part of 72. And one day Tara went to Mother, and Mother said, the time for naming flowers is over. You see, it was at that point, where the body, the work on the body, transformation, all the problems she was facing with the world, and so the time had That's all I had. I had many more I could have sent her. But
People would send her flowers and then she would give significance to them.
yes, sometimes
Okay.
immediately, sometimes not for years. They would bring the same flower and it didn't reveal its message for quite some time.
So was,
But eventually most of them did.
so was there a particular people would choose any flower, or would there be a special way of choosing a flower to give mother?
No, if one saw something really special or one loved something, and even just when the children and students were out, they would collect flowers in the wild and bring wild flowers to mother. There's one flower. Could you hold this one? Comelina is a little blue flower that grows close to the ground. Tiny flower. Its first conscious reception of the light in nature. Tiny flower. There's a hybrid form of it where the flower is much bigger, and that form is here, and Mother named it Charity.
Oh,
So
this is,
you see,
is this the one with the purple leaves?
no,
No.
that's Tradescanthia. That's I think we have another Tradescanthia yet. Let's see.
Do we see this flower for charity in the US? Or is
Yes,
it,
yes, it's around. Mm-hmm. It's not Tradescanthia. What is it? There's 3 geese. Canadian geese. Canadian geese. Now we're right here, something we haven't seen before. The ivy, and there are dozens and dozens of varieties of ivy. Large flowers, the Algerian ivy with the large leaves, Algerian, which is in all over California, and many kinds of ivy. They're great ground covers, as you can see. They also climb the trees a bit. The ivy, if we look closely here, attaches itself to things, and that's how it moves. Mother's name, lasting attachment.
But that's to the plant, or to the flower? Is there a flower too?
The leaves. We have dark, glossy evergreen leaves with prominent lobes. But when you see it, you know it's so different from reading it in a book. You see it, and now you'll never forget ivy, and you may even never forget that it's attached. So it's lasting attachment. Good. So not always flowers, huh?
Yeah, that I was wondering.
Sometimes
because then-
leaves, sometimes fruits. Okay, what's the mango? Divine.
Divine.
Ananda. No, Ananda was grapes.
Yes, good. Ananda's grapes. And divine
Love, no?
love spreading over the world is what?
Grapes.
Grape.
No. Spreading over the world.
Pomegranate.
Pomegranate. Yes.
Pomegranate.
Divine knowledge is the mango.
Divine.
And you know the flower, Mother named, nature's hope for realization.
Oh.
So you see sometimes she gave the flower and the fruit.
Flower of the mango?
Yeah, the mango flower, nature's hope for realization. The fruit, divine knowledge. We have another tree with a tiny little flower. Mother named it Patience. And it has a little green fruit. And the fruit of patience is accomplishment. So, where did we go to that building now?
Yeah, that.
All right, we don't want to go there. How we can see the integral intimacy with the divine, and in front of it the psychic intimacy with the divine and the psychic. That's really more the psychic color there. See, these others tend to come towards the physical, but the physical's quite a red. Did Mother what?
Name the, in India we call it the people tree. The
No,
one
she
that's
never
there
named
in
the
all
people
temples.
tree. She never named the people tree. The people tree is, do you know the people tree, that famous leaf that we all see? It goes like this to a point and then there. Well, that's the tree under which Buddha had his illumination. And that tree is found in all the villages where the elders meet and sit under it. It's very beautiful.
And close to temples.
And close to temples, yes.
She didn't name that.
She didn't name it.
How about this banyan tree?
Banyan tree, and that's a good question, the banyan tree, because, you see, the banyan tree, she didn't give a name exactly. In fact, I don't think she gave any ficus. No. But for me, she wanted the garden of unity around the banyan. And for me, the banyan is unity. All those aerial roots that come down, that feeling of unity. So I can only tell you my feeling that the banyan symbolizes or vibrates with the feeling of unity. And here, what is this? Yes, perpetual vitality.
So any evergreen?
Hemlock.
Any evergreen?
All evergreens. Isn't that wonderful? You have to crush it a little bit.
What is this?
And then you'll have it on your fingers.
Is it
This is a hemlock. And the leaves of this were boiled
and given
for
to
Socrates. And it's poison, and so he died.
Oh,
If you boil it, it's poison? There's poison?
It's poison if you eat it or you boil it, whatever.
Hemlock. Oh yeah, hemlock is poison. Right.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, now I remember. But orchid, how about orchids?
Very good question. I'm glad you asked it. The orchid. Remember we saw the ivy just a moment ago, which is lasting attachment? Well, the orchid is the highest in the evolution of the plant world because it has grown from a terrestrial existence to be able to take all of its nutrients from the air. And so its roots attach to a tree, but it's not a parasite. It's an epiphyte. It only uses the tree to hold. And through its roots, it receives all of its nutrients. And what is its significance? Attachment to the divine.
But it needs water too, right? Some water, a little, not too much, but it needs some water.
Yeah, in nature, the orchid is famous in the jungles of the Amazon, where it gets plenty of rain. And you see, when the rain falls, I wanted to go to
I was just saying that the magnolia.
Oh yeah,
flower
I
we
saw
were
the
looking
magnolia.
for.
Let's see that magnolia. The rain falls on the big trees, and and leaves and all get caught in the branches, and then they start to decay.
Oh,
And
so it
that
catches all this nourishment?
Yes, and that is the nutrients for the orchid roots. See, so it lives on water
And the washout.
and whatever nutrients come through it. So we have our beautiful, beautiful,
That
perfect,
flower, look at the
perfect
flower.
vigilance. It's pretty closed yet, but it's so beautiful. It's,
Yeah.
You can smell it from here. You just said, right?
Perfect vigilance. Yeah.
You know, the interesting thing is I just planted that yesterday.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Sure. So the thought.
Perfect vigilance. You can see the difference in some of the species where they don't all have that brown underside, see? So, sometimes it develops partially, so, like here it's developed under here, but not the way we saw yesterday. That beautiful rust color.
Oh, so it's appropriate for police department have vigilance by the
Vigilance
door, right?
Wow, look at
Absolutely. Good for you.
That's why officer was.
In fact, we should tell him that.
Right?
You know
What-
the symbol of this
Watch
plant?
out, yeah.
So we want to go around here. This is a plant mother didn't see, but it's a Japanese species. There are many forms of it. Ophiopogon and Liriope. And it's used as a ground cover, as a border plant, and there are even varieties that only get that high. And they make a carpet. And so if you have stepping stones, you plant them in between the stepping stones, and it never gets so high, so you never have to cut it, never have to do anything. I've put it all in front of Mother's garden. Oh, look what I see over there. That's very cool. Shall we have a look at that quick? What is that?
Which one? The orange.
Or is it just a piece
Oh,
of
just piece
cloth?
of cloth. Right,
It's,
right.
it's just a tarpaulin. All right.
Yeah, purple.
But we have two over here. And in answer to the question, petunia, right? Yeah. So here you see its flowers again. Now the dogwood tree has suffered greatly in America. There's an anthracnose disease that has attacked it. And on the Appalachian Trail, my house is just 10 minutes, 15 minutes away from the beginning of the trail in Georgia. You used to walk 3 months. I think it's 1,500 miles. And people would take that walk just hiking. And, there are different rest stops and places where you could get food. And the dogwood in the spring would just be covering the place. And many of them were wiped out, and now they're making a comeback again. We've had many, many problems in America with elm trees. We had the infamous Dutch elm disease that wiped out millions of trees. Trees
They're
bigger
big,
than
right?
that.
Yeah.
And these are imported things usually. Dutch elm disease. And then we have
What were these
now
Chinese-
a problem with an ash tree. Yes. What was your question?
Oh, well, there's some Chinese insect which decimated. I forgot which tree in the U.S., but it was imported in these crates
That's
from
right.
China.
Yeah. Sometimes things can come on your shoes.
Huh.
I mean, you pick up a seed of something like that, and then you have a plant that's taking over native plants. They brought Australian species into Florida, and they completely took over and killed the native vegetation.
these oaks.
Yeah, these are oaks. Aren't they beautiful?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a
I
lot
think
of
this
oaks
is
in
called a
Florida.
willow oak. In Florida?
Mhm.
Yes, and
A lot of
in New Jersey too.
There's different
We have the-
leaf
Yeah,
shades.
the leaves are very different. In New Jersey, we have what we call the pin oak. We have white oaks. We have red oaks. And see, Florida will have.
It's different, but yeah.
Yes,
it's
yes,
the
yes.
same leaf.
Yeah, and in Houston, Texas, we had. Can't remember it, but it was an oak that loved heat, and that's what you have in Florida. Okay, here we are. So our journey has taken us
Yeah,
here.
different oaks.
So the petunia is enthusiasm. And look at how many Mother has named. Oh. So this gives us a nice idea of the color range. Now, Mother gave a general significance to certain flowers when there were so many flowers in that particular genus. So, as I told you yesterday about the zinnia, the same with the petunia. So if you help me here. We have the general significance of enthusiasm. Then we have a bluish mauve with deeper veins. That's enthusiasm in the higher vital. Then we have a dark purple like velvet. You must have seen that one. And that's enthusiasm in the most material vital. Then when there's two colors in the petunia, that's enthusiasm in action. And so you can see here, look at all the petunias. Then Mother named double ones, she named single ones. So what would the white petunia be?
Purity. Integral.
Integral enthusiasm. And what would the red one be? Hmm?
Physical.
In the physical.
Physical enthusiasm. And what would the pink one be?
Psychic.
Yeah, see, now we're getting there, right? Okay. And then the double ones, Mother just added the word joyous. So the double for her represented even more enthusiasm, joyous enthusiasm. And the reason I brought you here is that we also have another flower.
I was going to say.
And when I saw it when we came out last night,
It's very common.
We have that in India, yeah.
very common
White
in
ones,
India.
Yeah,
And-
the white one.
I'm going to show you what Mother has named. For me, it's one of our most important flowers because it's progress. Now you see we have, again, a general significance where we don't give the color, we try to describe it, but this description doesn't hold any longer for these great new hybrids. I mean, look at that flower. I mean, we didn't see flowers like that years ago. You know, in India it was very different. They were small, but the interesting thing about this is that the root system was found to have certain alkaloids to be used in cancer treatment. And there's a sad story too. That some of the Indian farmers, they started asking for plane loads of the roots of this for research in cancer treatment. The root looks very similar to the brinjal root. So many Indian farmers
They
thought,
sent that.
we'll just send brinjal. And they stopped all the imports from India. Yeah. So now progress.
What was the plant? What was the flower?
What was
The flower name of the flower.
Catharanthus. And it has a common name also, vinca. And I think maybe you've heard that.
Vinca alkaloids. Yeah.
Vinca, huh? Vinca
Vinca
alkaloids, you
alkaloids,
see?
yeah.
See?
Professional.
Oh, well, it's interesting, isn't it? All right, now, what would the white one be?
Integral progress.
Integral progress. And we have white with a red center, white with a violet center, light pink with a red center, and rose violet streaked white, and light rose violet. Never had this one. So I think Mother is now leaving it up to us to start going deeply into the flowers and finding the names of others. There's one young man in California, and he's sent me 4 significances that he feels truly have come to him. And that's beautiful, huh?
So enthusiasm and progress together.
Enthusiasm and progress.
exactly.
That's why I wanted to take you
Yeah.
here. I don't know if there's
There's
anything
another
else.
magnolia which we saw yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
You
Oh,
can
well,
smell
let's,
it.
let's go see
It
that.
was
Yeah.
very
You can smell it.
It
close
was very
to the
close,
ground.
was
Yeah.
it?
Mhm.
Oh, good.
It's fine.
Yeah, this is a time of the year when spring is over, and you have some summer flowers, but it's not the abundance of spring. So let me just continue from yesterday. Then spring, an ardent lover, leaped through leaves and caught the earth bride in his eager clasp. Don't we feel that about spring? I mean, just... But he goes on. His advent was a fire of irised hues. His arms were a circle of the arrival of joy. His voice was a call to the transcendent sphere whose secret touch upon our mortal lives keeps ever new the thrill that made the world, remolds an ancient sweetness to new shapes, and guards intact, unchanged by death and time, the answer of our hearts to nature's charm, and keeps forever new, yet still the same, the throb that ever wakes to the old delight and beauty and rapture and the joy to live. His coming brought the magic and the spell. At his touch, life's tired heart grew glad and young. He made joy a willing prisoner in her breast. His grasp was a young god's upon earth's limbs, changed by the passion of his divine outbreak. He made her body beautiful with his kiss. Impatient for felicity he came, high fluting with the coil's happy voice, his peacock turban trailing on the trees. His breath was a warm summons to delight. The dense, voluptuous azure was his gaze. A soft, celestial urge surprised the blood. Rich with the instinct of God's sensuous joys, revealed in beauty, a cadence was abroad, insistent on the rapture thrill in life. Immortal movements touched the fleeting hours. A godlike, packed intensity of sense made it a passionate pleasure even to breathe. All sights and voices wove a single charm. The life of the enchanted globe became a storm of sweetness and of light and song, a revel of color and of ecstasy, a hymn of rays, a litany of cries. A strain of choral, priestly music sang and swung on the swaying censer of the trees. A sacrifice of perfume filled the hours. Ashokas burned in crimson spots of flame. Pure like the breath of an unstained desire, white jasmines haunted the enamored air. Pale mango blossoms fed the liquid voice of the love-maddened koil, and the brown bee muttered in fragrance mid the honey buds. The sunlight was a great god's golden smile. All nature was at beauty's festival. What a passage.
Yeah.
Oh. And there's one of our great singers right there on the bench. That's the mockingbird. And he is the imitator of many, many songs of different birds. And he'll practice his work during the day. And he likes to sit on the very top of everything so he can survey it.
This is another kind of oak right now. The leaves are very different.
Yeah. And this is more the oak leaf that we know.
Yes, yes, that's more common.
You see here? Here we are. See its shape? Yeah, we know that oak. It varies a lot according to the different species. But it's a beautiful pattern, isn't
It has this sort
Yes.
of fork.
it? Yes, it does. And then, then we have the willow oaks, which is just a single leaf that we know in Florida, right?
Yeah,
That
it's
willow
a
oak, that's
willow.
most common one there, I think. Oh, was this the magnolia?
Yes. It was on the other side. I don't know if it's still there.
I think that perfect vigilance is great, right by the police station. That's wonderful. Oh yes, look at that.
Oh yeah, that's
Perfect. You'll get a good photo.
yes, yes. It's not a good camera for this photo, but it's there we get.
Yeah, it's finished now. You see all the
Yeah,
all
it's
the
gone.
stamens.
Right.
It's caught them in one petal. As they fell, it caught them in the petal.
Right.
And there's
And there's a fellow, little fellow. See him? Now he's trying to hide on us. Now what is he? Can we see? Can somebody move him a little bit? Oh, see.
Oh,
He's,
he is on the other side.
yeah, he's upside down, isn't he? But he's had a feast.
I don't know how.
That's why he's upside down.
He certainly has. That's right.
Oh,
No, he didn't fall. He'll fall, probably.
Okay, so you see here now we really see the difference. This is much closer to the physical, eh? Intimacy with the divine and the physical. Then the pale pink, which is in the psychic. That paler pink is really the psychic. And I guess it was Mahipal that I was talking to the other day about the hybrid of the Indian species with the Japanese species. Now you can see a different kind of coloration in the bark from the integral intimacy that's where we sit. So you know they all have these different. And look at this underneath here, this marvelous green. Just the beauty sometimes just in the bark of a tree, and I brought the seeds, or I got the seeds from Australia. I don't remember which, of a eucalyptus called the rainbow eucalyptus, and it has 15 colors in the bark. And it's at the Matrimondia now. It's in the outer gardens and it's in the nursery. You just stand there and look at it, and you don't have to see any flowers. The trunk is big now. Well, it's been 40 years.
Myrtle has many other uses, right? It's used in Christmas as a bird too.
No, that's myrtle. Myrtle is different from crepe myrtle.
It's spelled the same. Spelled the same. Spelling is the same. Myrtle.
Yeah, but see, this is the second name, crepe myrtle. So the crepe feeling here.
Like a smaller version of my
I see.
The feeling of crepe.
Right.
Now, so crepe myrtle is a common name, and that's where we get into the confusion. Remember I mentioned that yesterday? These common names. Crepe myrtle is Lagerstremia, but myrtle is Myrtus. Myrtus communis, actually, to live only for the divine.
Well, what is that flower, Narad? How does it
It's a
look?
small white flower, very simple flower, blooming in California right now, just profusely blooming, but very, very quiet. Very quiet. Whereas this one sings a bit more.
Look at these flowers in Canada. Like pink flowers or something.
Oh. In Canada, we also went in a couple of months ago, summertime.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many of these big, large. I don't know what is the name.
Okay.
Large.
How did they grow? How do they grow?
Like-
Who has bushes in the people
There are
have
different colors: pink, white, red.
Are they-
large, very profuse.
Yeah.
Very fragrant.
No, they were not fragrant. You have a picture,
I don't know.
no?
I think that it's a peony. It's a shrub, right?
No, it's like
A
large
bush.
shrub.
Large,
It's
very large
It's
bush.
everywhere in Canada.
Is it a collection of
Large.
tiny flowers, a bunch?
No,
Yeah,
it's a,
they come as bunch.
Or a single flower?
it's single flower.
Oh.
Large single flower.
Now we
large
have,
single
now we
flower.
have,
You can't
say
now we
that.
have a major disagreement.
Large
So
single
we need to see the photo,
Yeah. It's an
and then we can identify. Now this is really lovely. Look at the early light on this bunch. Isn't it wonderful? Look at that.
Yeah.
In the art, the landscape architect shows it.
Oh, to enhance the color of the bed.
And you see the trunk also,
Yes.
the
yeah.
harmony there.
Wow. So there's somebody capable of doing a good job.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
this
the
is all
quality.
very beautifully designed.
very
Yeah.
beautifully designed. And they seem to have people who know how to prune and
Oh yeah. In fact, this is a holly.
Holly. Christmas time, yeah, you see the
Yeah,
Christmas
I think. Can you help?
yeah.
Yeah, I want to tell you about. Let me tell you about that first before the holly. When the crepe myrtle is pruned, one must really know how to prune it. And when you will see when you go around your cities, sometimes they're just cut off at the top. That's called crepe murder. So crepe myrtle has to be pruned sensitively so that the trunks show as well in the winter when there's no flowers and leaves. So you have this beautiful sculpture, and you have to keep the feeling of sculpture, not just whack it off. Okay, the holly. Let's see. Many kinds of holly. And it has a flower, but Mother has named the whole plant. So its significance is courageous goodwill, referring to the flowers, the berries, and the shiny leaves. Courageous goodwill, huh? So here we see the fruits, green at first, turning to red. And so this is famous at Christmas time. Huh? The holly and the ivy when they are full grown, that little Christmas song. So we saw the ivy, lasting attachment, and the holly, courageous goodwill. So we did get to see some things even in the middle of summer.
This crepe myrtle flowers blooms in what, only summer or?
Yes, it's a summer bloom.
Season.
Summer bloom. Mhm.
When we enter the ashram, that's walkway on the right, narrow walkway, there is some cactus and all that.
Yeah, the cactus garden, right?
Cactus
Mhm.
garden.
And the cactus represents?
Abundance.
No.
Oh, wealth.
No,
No.
that's the water lily. Cactus is close.
Well,
Rich.
no.
Yes.
Yes, richness.
Riches, yes.
Riches.
So
Riches.
cactus riches, water lily,
Wealth.
wealth.
Well,
And here's another form of courageous goodwill with a much smaller leaf. Again, the varieties that are heavily fruited are really beautiful because when
It's
it
red.
all turns red,
Red,
it's a lovely sight. Huh?
Yeah.
And we have to make our way back.
Narad at all?
No.
When I first time I entered the ashram, I remember the experience. It was such beautiful. The cactus was really very
Yeah.
rich, and
Yes.
it was really rich there. And that
Did you see
was-
some flowers also?
I think so. Yeah.
We have one echinops multiplex, ECH, which I found in a Lowe's, and nobody knew what it was. Richness of feelings. It's called the Easter lily cactus. The flower is bigger than the plant. And so it multiplies. You know how cactus sends out what we call pups.
Yeah.
It increases with the same thing. It starts as a small one, then it grows bigger and bigger. This could have 7 flowers on it one time and just cover the whole plant. Each flower that big. Richness.
The ones with the red flower? Is that the one?
No, but that's similar. That's similar. But this is a very dwarf plant, and it's richness of feelings. No false show, Mother says. Sincere and concentrated. We didn't really get into her significance, but her commentaries. These are the commentaries in the books. Eh? First, you have the in this book. Okay, first you have the botanical name, then you have the common name, then you have a description of the flower, as close as we could come in those days because we didn't have color photos. Then you have Mother's significance, and then you have her commentary. And the commentaries only occurred from 71 to 72. And Tara in Delhi, Ashram, has you call Almira, has an Almira filled with Mother's handwriting of each of these significances. My goodness. And I said, Tara, this is so valuable. I said, we have to protect it. I said, can you have someone scan it? And she got onto it right away, scanned it, and I have all the CDs. About 5 of them.
So
She sent to me.
Has the significances been published or handwritten? Not in the
No, they
handwriting,
have.
but
Well,
in print.
these are the books with all the significances. So this was one of the first ones, and now there's a 2-volume edition, and that 2-volume edition came out some years ago with a lot of color photos.
Yeah,
gonna
that's
say.
that's a very pretty book.
Yes, it's a pretty book. A little difficult to carry around.
Heavy and
This is good for that.
yeah, I'm looking for a flower.
See the bronze tint of some of the leaves that are
yeah.
facing this way.
There are a few of them in a row by their gym, like way far out gym. If you see them in the sun, it's completely brown, bright brown.
This plant reminds me of the rubber plant, as we call it.
Yes, and it does have that feeling a little bit of that
Smaller leaves.
It's a different species, though.
smaller
Different.
leaf. Yes. Good morning.
Morning. But it's a different species, probably. It's a different kind of plant.
Oh yes, a different kind of plant altogether. You know, in Brazil, Colombia, we had rubber trees, and they used to tap the tree, not to hurt it, not to cut it down, but just tap it, and the sap that would come out was the rubber. Now the same thing happens with maple trees, and we have, even in this Greenville area, the sugar maple, which gives us maple syrup. And you need many gallons of the sap
To boil it down.
just to make one pint of maple syrup. Oh, yeah. But it's delicious, isn't it? How many have had it?
Everybody's.
Yeah, everybody? Great, okay. On pancakes or waffles? So we'll wind up just at the right time. So even when we don't have, I want to talk to you about mulch. How many of you have gardens? 1, 2,
Gardens, you mean
3.
landscaping around
A
the
garden,
home.
yes. See, mulch is the blanket that protects the earth. And you should always use lots of mulch. And really quickly, I'll go down the list. Mulch suppresses weeds. Mulch holds the moisture in the ground so that the sun doesn't get it all. Mulch has a beauty, especially the pine needles that we saw. That's a lovely mulch. Mulch, when it breaks down, adds organic matter to the soil. If you put your hand on the soil that's not covered by mulch in the summer, it can be 100 degrees or more, and you can burn your hand actually in a real hot area. Now, if you put your hand under 5 or 6 inches of mulch, it will be 30 degrees cooler.
You know, you get that colored mulch. Is that okay to use? Because we use that. Dark
Not
red
very
mulch.
nice, I think.
That's probably the
This
chemical.
is our chemical, artificially colored stuff. Here is just natural mulch. When they chip branches, this is not so beautiful, but it's available. It's free,
Yeah.
and you saw the pine straw. How much more beautiful it is, huh? But this still serves a purpose. Helps to keep the weeds down when it's thick enough. When it's not, you see now here we have seedlings of the oak.
Oh, I was going to say.
It's the oak, yeah. And now this is a very beautiful plant.
Yeah.
I'll just talk about this for a minute and then we have to go. This is a camellia. And this is a Japanese plant. And I think you've all seen the flowers on camellias. They look like they're carved out of wax.
Yeah.
And mother's name is Static Beauty.
Static beauty.
Static Beauty. This is Camellia sasanqua. Then we also have Japonica, which has the bigger flowers that last a long time.
Do these flower in spring or fall?
I've seen them both late fall or mid-fall and early spring, and some of them go through, in fact. I have one under my window that blooms when I come back in March. I have another one that blooms in the fall.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Camellia. Again, the glossy leaf. As we see here, the glossy leaf. Nice identifying characteristic.
Yeah, they're
No
very pretty,
insects
very
and
pretty.
diseases. Free of insects and diseases. And of course we have the beautiful moss. And whenever you can put moss in a garden, when you have a shady spot. When I was when I started the mother's garden in Georgia, I went to a family nursery where they sold rock and they sold all kinds of plants. And there was a fellow from Hawaii there, and he says, "Oh yeah," he said, if you want to increase your moss population, he says, take some pieces and put them in a blender with yogurt." And he said, blend them up And then he says you can pour that material over a stone and just keep it moist, and and the moss will just increase like that. That was quite something to learn.
You didn't try that yet?
No, I haven't tried it. Another evergreen, the arborvitae. Arbor is what?
A tree.
Tree, vitae, vitae, V-I-T-A-E,
Life.
life, the tree of life.
Huh.
All of these arborvitae are the tree of life.
I know this tree.
Mixed with camellia, sasanqua, and we saw and we're under willow oak. You see how we start to expand our consciousness to take in the whole thing, and then we have the Om of the plain. And it changes. See, I sing Om with everything. I sing Om. Fans. Two notes. It usually has two notes, so you can then reuse the music in between. Okay. Almost 7:30. Now you see, when there's rain or irrigation sprinklers, this kind of mulch will wash away. Pine straw will not. It interlocks. Or pine needles, as we call it. Pine. We call it pine straw when it's in the bales.
So
But-
you could buy them commercially?
Oh
pine
yeah,
straw?
any garden center.
Oh.
Almost any garden center has pine straw.
Not in our place.
Hmm?
Not in Maryland, at least.
No,
Probably.
not up north.
Mm.
I know it's certainly available in Georgia. Whew. Because there are pine barrens. We call them pine barrens. Huge belts of pine trees all along the route, the coastal Atlantic route, coming down from Maryland to Florida. And any place you have those pine trees, you have pine needles.
Yeah, but we haven't seen that in Florida either. We see the regular mulch.
Yeah.
Not
Usually colored
yeah,
mulch.
No, we have all kind of
That's
mulch, but-
because these big multinational companies push it on you.
Right, right.
This growth, how come it's not growing on the, or maybe they're taking it off?
They take it off. If you look at that, here, right
Yeah,
here.
you see
Yeah,
the-
Look
took it
here.
off. Yeah.
Look here, they had to strip it all the way down.
Mm.
Yeah. It will get away on you. It is lasting attachment. See here, seedlings of different trees in amongst the ivy. This is that one we saw yesterday with the little balls, sticky balls. This is an oak. This is a maple. This is another kind of oak. Amazing, isn't it? Because nature does not want to be naked. When she's naked, we have deserts. So she always wants to cover herself. And so we read here at Beauty's Festival, but also, and there's another line I think I quoted the other day, alive and clad with trees and herbs and flowers, Earth's great brown body smiled towards the skies. What we are doing. Now you can see here, they haven't worked on this for a while. We've got all kinds of seedlings coming up. Well, why? Well, first of all, the soil is receptive. Secondly, you have all these leaves constantly breaking down, giving you the perfect environment for something to germinate. So these dogwoods, come in two colors. Who knows the colors of dogwood?
Pink,
Pink and white.
Pink and white. I knew you were going to ask. I knew you were going to ask me that. No, she didn't. Yeah, which I love. I wish we had brought her bamboo.
They're such elegant and beautiful things.
Oh, they are.
There's no way you can get rid of them though, if you start them in your garden.
Well,
Because they propagate like
you
crazy.
have two kinds of bamboo.
Mhm.
Okay, you have a rhizomatous bamboo, which is this one, which the root travels under the
Yes,
ground and
that's what I'm
keeps
telling.
popping
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
But you
yeah,
also have a clumping type
Oh, I've never seen
that
it.
doesn't spread like that. And so the clumping varieties you can grow, and they don't take over the whole
Because these
garden.
guys, it just no way you can get rid of them. And elk can pop up like 15 feet, 20 feet, or travel under the
Same
ground.
thing with the curry
It's
leaves.
horrible.
They pop out anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, they will, yes.
And it grows so fast, so it's just
And the tulip poplar seeds all over the place. And that's why they don't keep it on pathways or near lawns where you'd walk on. Yeah.
it certainly gives here fantastic color, right?
Oh.
Light green and
Beautiful and yellow, yeah.
yes, yes.
Good morning.
Same thing happens in here. It's okay.
This is not quite, but it's very similar to humility. This little flower of this grass. Humility is more, an Indian grass.
The water lily, right?
No,
No.
no. Day lily.
Day lily.
Lily, yeah. Lily, certainly.
Because it does close up at night. And so often falls down and then the new flower comes, right?
Yeah. And they're not at all conducive to picking and offering.
Not
to
at all.
the
They're
god
gone in one
because
day.
they're gone.
by
They're
the
gone
night.
in like very little time.
Yeah, right. I still do it.
Yeah.
I have these little vases. Mother and Sherman in this photo. And then I'll get 5 or 6 fantastic colors. Beautiful golds and oranges. And just put them there for that one day. Pick them as soon as they open in the morning,
Yeah.
which is not early morning. They wait a little bit for the sun. But by evening they're gone.
They're gone. Yeah.
So the next day they don't come back?
No, but another flower comes for weeks, usually for about 3 or 4 weeks in some cases. You have a constant display of color.
They had a party yesterday here. There's one more here.
No recycling? No recycling facility?
Yeah, there is some
there is
recycling
some.
there. There's paper and there's bottles.
Oh, okay.
Those little boys constantly coming up to me. You still have the flower book? I said, yes, I'll return it. I'll return it.
Oh,
Good memories, huh?
yeah, yeah. Oh, there's more and more.
Yeah, unfortunately.
She is like saying something spread.
Spreading.
Pomegranate. We forgot.
Divine love spreading over the world.
Over the world.
You know the story of Persephone, right? I don't know the whole legend, the Greek legend, but she eats 6 seeds, and so she has to spend 6 months in the underworld. and then she's allowed to come up to Earth.
I wonder how, to spread the love.
Ah, that's interesting. See, that's what Mother gives us. A totally new dimension. Totally new understanding of.
That's oak too.
No, that's your tulip poplar with the seeds, remember?
Oh, okay,
The thorny balls. Yeah. So what? Oh, let me just finish with one thing which happened at the Om this year. Usually people after the introduction they all go and shake hands and meet each other. This year, I collected in the garden about 76 varieties of flowers with Mother's significance, and we took and we put them in small vases or little plastic saucers, and each person took one, and in absolute silence for about 45 minutes we would hand one and they would hand another one to you, and then go like that, and everyone met each other in silence through the communication of the flowers. It was a very beautiful ceremony. They did photograph it. Yeah. First time it was ever done. So you had the significance there, right? And twice I received to live only for the divine. And people received joy of union with the divine. And of course, 76 significances. It was.
Were there more than 76 participants?
Yeah, there are 120.
120. Yeah.
So many people got many significances.
Your Dr. Bhatia you met, he went there.
I know. He emailed me that. Because I invited him here. He told go to see my daughter. Go to.
Well, we had about 120 at one point. It's a good attendance.
Yes.
But it's much more intense here.
Yeah.
Because it's only focused on Mother and Sri Aurobindo. And there are all kinds of different things going on. Different healing methods and lectures on national soul and so many different kinds of speakers.
So it was in a way a continuation of the previous home. It was similar, right?
But one very interesting lady, Linda Lester, puts these programs together that are really extraordinary.
Multimedia thing.
The multimedia things, yeah. She's good at it, very good at it.
Yeah.
What does she do? What does she do? Multimedia, huh?
Yeah, she'll have a video within a video, she'll have great sound, she'll have extraordinary photography, and she puts it all together in the context of the new world of Mother and Sri Aurobindo. It's very, very beautiful.